Today I'm going to be taking a look at one of Revolut's landing pages through the lens of the Acquitain UX framework. Whether you're a business owner, marketer, agency or consultant, my goal with this video is simple: to help you look at websites a little differently. Rather than relying on opinion or personal preference, I want to show you a structured way of evaluating how well a page supports users in making decisions. The framework I'll be using is one I've developed and refined over many years of working with businesses across a range of industries. It's helped me identify opportunities to improve conversion rates, reduce friction, and create better digital experiences, and I'm sharing it in the hopes that it will help improve your own website or deliver even better results for your clients. This isn't about criticizing individual brands. Every website represents a series of design and business decisions, often made under real-world constraints. Instead, it's an opportunity to explore what works well, where users might encounter friction, and how small changes can sometimes have a significant impact on performance. Throughout the review, I'll assess the page against 6 key principles: relevance and intent, friction, clarity, urgency, distraction, and trust. First of all, let's dig a bit deeper into the 6 pillars. The first pillar is relevance and intent. What do I mean by this? Well, can you immediately recognize that the page matches what you're looking for? So here I'd be looking out for signals that I'm in the right place, that the page matches why I clicked, and whether it's actually speaking to me. The second pillar is friction. This is really anything on the page that's making it harder for me to buy. So for this, I tend to look at whether there's page navigation, whether there are unnecessary clicks, whether there are form fields, whether there's really anything that requires an increase in cognitive effort. And the question I'd ask is, what makes buying harder than it needs to be? Then comes clarity. Can someone understand the offer within seconds? This includes things like the value proposition and features and benefits. The questions I would ask here are, what is this? Why should I care? And why would I choose this product and service instead of that of a competitor? After clarity comes urgency. Does the page provide momentum without resorting to fake scarcity? Here I'd look at things like the prominence of calls to action, limited time offers, bundles, really anything that answers the question, why should I buy today rather than next week? The next pillar is distraction. This is anything that's competing with the primary goal of the page. So here I'd look out for competing calls to action, too many messages, annoying pop-ups, unnecessary animation, any visual noise or navigation overload. Anything here that answers the question, what is stealing my attention? The final pillar is trust. So why should I trust this brand and its products and services? I'd want to look out for anything that builds confidence and reduces uncertainty for me. So things like social proof, including reviews and ratings, expert endorsements, press mentions, guarantees, return policies. The questions I'd ask here are, can I believe these claims? And is this company credible? So this is the page. It's a cashback credit card landing page for Revolut. And as you can see, I'm looking at this on mobile. This is on my iPhone. Let's start off then by looking at the first pillar of relevance and intent. So let's assume that I have gone to Google and I've typed in a search term, which was cashback credit cards. I've clicked on the ad and then it's brought me to this page. Now, as far as relevance and intent goes, I would say this is probably the weakest element on the page. I've arrived here expecting information about cashback cards. After all, that's what I've put into as my search term, and I've landed on this page. Instead, I'm greeted with a pretty generic proposition, which is cards for every occasion. Now, this could describe pretty much any banking product. It doesn't reassure me that I've landed in the right place. What is quite good on this page is the card imagery. It's it's attractive. You know, the product definitely looks premium, and the Revolut branding is also very strong. But I just can't get past this generic headline here. It doesn't match my search intent. And I think, you know, had they used a stronger headline, it might immediately answer the questions that I have when I come to the page. You know, I'm looking for a cashback card. I would expect something around cashback cards to be articulated in that headline, or even something like, you know, earn cashback every time you spend. I shouldn't have to infer that I'm in the right place. It should be crystal clear when I arrive here. Now, the page also jumps straight into acquisition. There's almost no introduction explaining, you know, what Revolut is, why this card is different, who it's for, even, you know, how cashback actually works. Instead, it assumes existing familiarity with the brand. There's nothing really here explaining who they are and really why it's useful for me, why I should be interested. The core value proposition isn't really articulated on the page either. You know, I should be able to understand within a few seconds that it's a cashback card. Also, you know, there are no mention of things like exchange rates, minimal reference to security. I mean, a little bit further down here, you've got a section that says your money protected, but, you know, that's it really. I kind of discover these things gradually as I scroll down the page. I really would want them to be, again, explained right at the top in this hero section, just in the first fold on the page. So I think there are some real opportunities here. First of all, you know, the hero section doesn't say anything about cashback. So, you know, there is a great opportunity here just to rewrite that, just to bring in a mention of cashback. Also, just to explain the product in a single sentence, and, you know, maybe add how cashback works immediately under that hero section. I think it can be that the hero could be personalized much better to the search query. Now, the second pillar is friction. And I think the biggest issue with the page here is with this first interaction. So when I land on the page, I'm being asked for my mobile number immediately. And, you know, this is before I've had enough information really to decide whether it's even worth continuing. So for me, this you know, poses a number of different questions. First of all, why do you want it? You know, and then if I do put my mobile number in, what's going to happen next? Will I receive marketing from you? Is it going to create an account? You know, can I browse first before doing this? So any unanswered question really creates psychological friction. And they're expecting commitment just too early in the process. I haven't yet decided whether Revolut's even suitable for me. Yet the page is asking me to begin onboarding straight away. And this reverses that natural decision-making process. I mean, usually users want to firstly understand what they're looking at, then secondly be able to compare. Thirdly, you know, through doing that, you know, they want their confidence to be built. And then, you know, the fourth part of that would be to decide whether it's actually relevant. And then number 5, register. This page jumps straight to step 5 without really going into any of the previous 4 steps. The page is also surprisingly long, considering that most users have already encountered the sign-up form. So many users may never scroll far enough down the page to discover the content that actually persuades them to convert. So, you know, again, on this page, lots of opportunities. I think, first of all, they need to delay the data capture at the top. Maybe, you know, introduce some lower commitment calls to action, like see plans or find out more about the card's features and benefits. I think they need to definitely explain why this phone number is needed here. And then, you know, maybe break the content into clearer sections on the page as well. Now, in terms of clarity, the page contains plenty of information, but the problem is the order that it's presented in. So, the hero lacks explanation. I'm expected to understand that it's a cashback card, but there are a number of questions that I've got, like do I need a bank account to be able to do this? Do I need a Revolut bank account? Is it a debit card or is it a credit card? Do I need to install the app to be able to use it? Is there a financial platform that I need to use? There's kind of no supporting copy here to really give any further information. Now, the features of the card are pretty clear. Down the page, further down, the benefits become much stronger. So it talks here about, protecting your money, proactive defenses, personalizing your settings. Also, being able to transfer your money in seconds, and also budgeting as well. So you can auto sort your income as soon as it comes into your account. The benefit hierarchy improves lower down as well. So the feature cards work well because they're concise, they are icon led, and they're it's easy to compare the information. But unfortunately, they're hidden beneath that sign-up journey on the page. So the opportunities here, I think, are to move the sections much higher up the page. Lead with why Revolut rather than give us your phone number. Now, there's also surprisingly little urgency on the page. There's no obvious limited offer. There's no sign-up bonus. It's a cashback card, but there's no cashback promotion, no deadlines, no scarcity, nothing like that really spoken about on the page at all. So for a performance landing page, urgency definitely feels understated. And if this campaign relates to cashback, I'd expect messaging like earn £20 cashback when you join this month, or limited welcome offer if that was applicable. So promotion specific details should be made explicit where they're relevant. Instead, the call to action relies pretty much entirely on intrinsic motivation. So opportunities here, I think, definitely a welcome bonus, maybe a limited time cashback offer, a first purchase incentive, or even some social proof, some social momentum, like join millions of people who have applied for this card or who have taken this card out. Now, distraction. This is another area where the page could improve. So the animated card carousel kind of draws attention away from the primary task. So there's this one here at the top, and there's also the one here a little bit lower down. And more importantly, it physically obscures the phone number field as it moves. Animation should support understanding. Here, it competes with it. So several elements are competing simultaneously. The moving cards, also the color gradients on the page, the sign-up form, and just the sheer volume of content on the page. The page could achieve stronger visual hierarchy with fewer moving parts. So because content continues for a long way down the page, I have to work pretty hard to understand everything that Revolut offers. So I think the opportunities here are, first of all, to remove the animation. Secondly, keep that hero area static. Reduce the competing focal points, and then just shorten the overall page. I don't think it really has to be this long. I think the salient information can be included in a much shorter page. So finally, let's look at trust. Now, trust is actually one of the stronger areas on the page. There is strong brand recognition. Revolut already benefits from high awareness, and that reduces perceived risk considerably. Also, there's security messaging. So features like virtual cards, secure transactions with two-factor authentication, and being able to freeze your card immediately. These are all easy to understand. The page also shows the broader product ecosystem pretty well. So, things like budgeting, exchanges, and savings. This helps reinforce that it isn't simply another credit card. But what's surprisingly absent for me is stronger reassurance from other customers. Examples that could strengthen trust, things like customer reviews, a Trustpilot rating, that the number of customers that have used the card, awards, app ratings, customer stories, all these kind of things. So for visitors who are unfamiliar with Revolut, these things could really help reduce that perceived risk. So what's the key takeaway from this analysis? For me, it's that this landing page appears to have been designed for people who already know and trust Revolut. If that's the audience, then asking for a phone number immediately may work perfectly well. However, for someone arriving from a broader search like cashback cards, there's a disconnect. The page asks for commitment before it has fully established relevance, explained the value proposition, or built enough confidence to justify handing over personal information. It's a great reminder that reducing the number of clicks isn't necessarily the same as reducing friction. Sometimes spending a little more time helping users understand, compare, and trust your offer leads to better outcomes than asking them to take action as quickly as possible. And that's really what this framework is all about, looking beyond aesthetics and opinions to understand how well a page supports real users in making informed decisions. If you found this analysis useful, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. I'll be publishing more website teardowns like this, analysing businesses across a wide range of industries, so whether you're improving your own website or helping clients improve theirs, you'll be able to use the same thinking in your own work. If you'd like to analyse your own landing pages using exactly the same framework, I've put together a free landing page checklist that walks you through the points we've covered today. You can download it using the link in the description below. And finally, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What was the biggest usability issue you spotted on this page? Or do you think asking for a phone number immediately actually helps conversions? Let me know in the comments. I'm always interested to hear different perspectives and discuss what we can learn from these examples. Thanks very much for watching, and remember, the best digital experiences aren't built on opinion, they're built on evidence. Until next time, keep testing, keep learning, and keep building better digital experiences.